Hello, I'm Neil Cole from Starling Initiatives. I've been doing a series of videos looking at the shifts in priorities and values, actually, that need to take place for us to see a renaissance, a rebirth of faith in Jesus for this day, for this generation that's coming. And I think that's important rather than trying to fix what's been broken for so long. So let me run through the 7 value shifts that I think need to take place. First of all, His kingdom more than our church. Secondly, following more than believing. Third, learning more than teaching. Fourth, loving more than being right. Fifth, the fruit of the Spirit more than the gifts of the Spirit. Sixth, giving more over getting more. And finally, renaissance over reformation. These 7 value shifts, I think, would change not just what we pursue and what we're known by, but our own sense of identity. So let me show you what I mean. I'm not saying that the things we're shifting from are bad or wrong or we need to get rid of them, throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not suggesting that. Church is God's bride. I don't want to get rid of it. Believing is the start. I don't want to leave there, but I want to expand upon it. None of those things are bad or wrong. We don't want to get rid of them, but we want to shift our emphasis, our priority to the other side of the equation. That's what my suggestion is. Because we have valued the right side of the equation, whether that be church or believing or teaching or being right or gifts of the Spirit, that right-hand side of the equation, we have valued them so much that they have become our sense of identity. Show you what I mean. We divide the whole world into 2 categories, the churched and the unchurched. I think that's crazy. Nowhere in the Bible does it do that. I think we need to shift to valuing His kingdom more than our church. Secondly, we divide the whole world into believers and unbelievers. Why don't we just look for those who are actually following Jesus? That's where the fruit is found. Third, we value teachers and teaching more than we value learning. We are like the New Testament church with some, I am of Paul, I am of Apollos. We have people, I am of Warren, I am of Keller, I am of Stanley, or, I go to this church over here known by this pastor or that one. I listen to his podcast. This is, this is the way we identify with the teachers rather than what we're actually learning. We also can divide the whole world into the orthodox, the being right, or the heretics, the being wrong, as opposed to being a people known for love. It's interesting, Jesus didn't say, by this will all men know that you are my disciples, by their good sound doctrine, or by their brand, church brand, or their spiritual gifts. No, He actually said we will all be known by His love, by our love for one another. This is a better thing to be known for. This is a better sense of personal identity than simply being right or wrong. We're also most known by our gifts, much more than our fruit. We're known by what we're able to do. We have a sense of identity based on, I'm an apostle, I'm an evangelist, or this is the spiritual gift I have, I'm a healer. We're always known by our gifts, by what we do, by how we serve, rather than the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. Wouldn't it be better if we were known by our character, by who we are, rather than what we do? And I think we're also identified by our stance with money. We're known as good stewards or tithers or partners in ministry. And that's how we identify ourselves sometimes. But I think we should be more identified by our generosity in all things, not just our checkbooks, not just our bank account, but the way we live our life more generously. Finally, Renaissance over Reformation. We actually have a whole segment of Christianity known as the Reformed, Reformers. We are always trying to fix the church. Rarely do we ever talk about rebirthing. And I think the New Testament never talks about fixing the church. It only talks about giving birth to the new bride of Christ, to the new identity, to the new movement of Jesus. So I think we need to make these shifts. Just think about the left-hand side of the equation, which is, kingdom, followers, learning, loving. Wouldn't it be nice if we were known as King Jesus followers, who were learners for life, that loved everyone, were known by our godly character, that were generous, and that we were initiating and starting all kinds of new creative works? I think that's a better form of identification. And that's why I'm saying we need to make these shifts. Listen to Jesus, do what he says.